What's up, guys? Coach Vassar, thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listen to me talk about these workouts. If you have any feedback, let me know. Give me a heads up on what's on your mind and how I could help. Saturday, June 7th. What's the catch? 3G only template, strength on the treads, endurance on the rower, and on the weight floor. This is a specialty workout, so it's a named workout, but it does vary a little bit since the last time we've done it. In fact, the last time we done this was on day 1 of 2024 All Out Mayhem. That year's Mayhem, they took all the benchmarks and put a twist on them. So this is a twist on Catch Me If You Can, but instead of on the treadmill, it's on the rower. And looking at the templates from last year to this year, the treadmill and the weight floor are completely different than what they did last year. The rowers are the same though, which is kind of nice, almost. All right. As always, we'll talk about the breakdown of the treads, the rower, the weight floor, and this because it's only a 3G version. There's nothing to talk about with the 2G. Break down the key concepts, and then we'll jump into it. So if you're here for Mayhem 2024, you might remember what's the catch. We brought it back with a twist on the other twist. It's still Catch Me If You Can style on the rower, but simplified on the tread and the row. On the floor, you want to row as far as you can to hit the next checkpoint before the coach calls it out. The farther you go, the harder it gets. How far can you go before you get caught? Okay. On the treadmills, you have 14 minutes in base, but the incline goes up and then it comes down. On the rower, you've seen Catch Me If You Can before, but we're doing that on the road today. So you have checkpoints every few minutes, and if you want to go beyond the distance at each checkpoint, how far can you get before you get caught? On the floor, it's total body on the floor with upper body, lower body, and core. Now, just like the traditional Catch Me If You Can, What's the Catch is designed to catch a majority of members. So definitely coach with empathy and establish that in the lobby intro. It's okay to get caught. You just move on to the next part of the workout. Okay, this is also one where there is no trackable information for the challenge tracker. I feel personally it makes sense because it is way too subjective. And there's no it's not really easy for members to know the exact distances they were at the exact time because of course the meters collect very quickly, right? So I understand why they don't make it a trackable thing. We'll talk about the rowers later, break down the treads first, then go into the rower, and then go into the weight floor. With this being a regular 3G style workout, one thing to call attention to is the rower group who starts on the rower has the dynamic warm-up that we see on like a row benchmark day, like the 500 and 2000 meter row. So definitely have that on the whiteboard. If you have a whiteboard in your studio, 200 meter base row, 18 to 24 strokes per minute, and then 10 step out squats. There's no hops on this one, which is kind of nice. So just row, squat, back and forth for about 4.5, 5 minutes, okay? And of course, you'll do your regular 1 minute walk, 5 minutes at base for the tread side. For the weight floor side, have them do a dynamic warm up until about that 3 minute mark, and then do the floor setup. All right, so when we look at the treadmills, the big thing for this one is it's a base incline pyramid challenge. They're gonna start at base, and then they're gonna increase their incline at checkpoints, okay? So the other thing is they can maintain, or if they need to, they can adjust their base speed as the incline changes. So as the incline goes up, base speed may come down to lessen the intensity, but then if we lose the incline, encourage members to add the speed back if they did take it away, okay? So within this tread block, the first 2 minutes are at their flat road base. So power walkers between 1% to 3% or so, joggers and runners, of course 1% incline with that challenging but doable speed. And then for the bikes and striders, they're gonna start at a base gear, and then at every checkpoint, they're looking to increase a gear if they add incline, or decrease a gear as the incline decreases, okay? So at the 2 minute mark, they're gonna go up to 2%. And then 4, 6, and 8 minute checkpoints, they're gonna go up, okay? When they hit minute 9, now it's 1 minute intervals, they're gonna drop the incline. So we're gonna see flat road and then 2 minutes at 2, 2 minutes at 3, 2 minutes at 4, and then just 1 minute at 5% incline. 1 minute at 4, 1 minute at 3, 1 minute at 2%, 90 seconds at flat road into a 30-second all out. And that's the 14-minute tread block. On paper, very simple, but this is an opportunity for you, if you have the time between those checkpoints, to evaluate and observe the OTB. For the members, look at the OTB and see if people are hitting that red line on the treadmills. Encourage them to scale back, because this is somewhat of an strength/endurance sequence on the treadmill, since they're going for 14 minutes with no walk recoveries. If they really drop down on that speed, it should still feel challenging yet doable, even with incline. Okay, 3-minute transition, move the room around on the rowers. Now, on the daily beat, they recommend doing a new interval rather than a stored program. I do agree with that, because once again, we're not actually going to track this or anything. Checkpoints, you're going to see 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If they make it all the way through that 12th minute checkpoint, then they have 2 minutes to continue to collect distance into the 14-minute mark. If at any point they do get caught, they're going to see 10 reps of a med ball or Y bell halo. The key thing for this one, though, it's going to be 5 one direction, 5 the other. So with it starting here, they come around, there's 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, then go the other direction. Really focus on trying to keep that med ball, Y bell close to the body. Try to get it behind the head, elbows up high, and then back down, keeping the core locked and the hips stable as well. When they finish the 10 reps, 5 and 5, they do a 200-meter row at their choice of intensity, and then repeat that over and over. Okay. Now, at the 13-minute and 30-second mark, that's when the tread's hit an all out. Everyone on the rower will get back on the rower and finish with a 30-second all-out row to finish strong together. I'll talk about the strategies for that rower in a moment. Let's talk about the weight floor, and then we'll come back. Now, in All Out Mayhem, there was a checkpoint system for the weight floor. So I remember coaching this, and it was insane, but fun, but insane. Today, luckily not the case. It's going to be work and rest of a full body circuit. We're going to see a single arm neutral grip shoulder press with rotation. So they're going to rotate and then also press to the same side, rotate, press to the same side, alternate in 12 total. Split stance reverse fly. So they'll do 6 with one leg in front, 6 with the other. If you have any lower back issues, they could go onto the strap and just do a regular high row, or like a one arm row if you wanted to do it, mix it up that way. They have the Pulsin split squat. So they'll be in that lower position, knee taps the floor, comes up about 6 inches, right back down, 12 on each side with dumbbells. High plank alternated dumbbell tap. The key thing here is that dumbbell is a target to reach out in front, come back, try to get bicep by the ear, back down. If reaching forward for that dumbbell is tough, they could just take it to a shoulder tap to reduce it. And then the alternating superhero, people could do bird dogs as an option. And then the shoulder press will be the finisher as they do that for the final 30. All right, so let's talk about the rowers real quick. So just like Catch Me If You Can, in order to clear a checkpoint, you have to hold a specific average pace. And vast majority of people don't like the rower, which is understandable because it's not easy. It's not simple like with the treadmill where you hit a speed and you just have to stay on it. You have to generate the work to keep your split time, your wattage at a certain level. You have to be consistent. It's really tough to do, okay? What I will say, just like the regular Catch Me If You Can, it's gonna be designed to catch a majority of people. So what I would do to encourage people is the first group who are on the rowers during the warm-up, when they establish their base effort, recognize what their base split time is, okay? And try to have them hold that base split time consistent. And then if they are feeling good, a push split time is going to be about 5 to 10 seconds below that, all right? So if anything, if they could kind of alternate between a base and a push by modifying how much they incorporate leg drive, that will help them. So with the idea of someone trying to get through all 14 minutes nonstop, that's a long time to row. So we want to think about repetition and form breakdown. So the less reps you do, the less likely your form is going to break down. The more reps you do, the more likely form is going to break down. So this is one where it is beneficial to keep somewhat of a lower end stroke rate, around 24 to 28 at most. Me personally, I'm comfortable at about 22 to 24, but that's just me. I've rowed for hours at like a 20 to 22 stroke rate. That feels great for me. Everybody's different. But encourage people to be on that lower stroke rate end and really emphasize in leg drive. That way they have less chance to have form breakdown and the mechanics getting lost. Did the math. In order to make it past the first checkpoint, they have to hold an average of a 2:30 split time, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Hopefully most people get through that. Okay. The 4-minute mark, they have to hold an average from the very beginning to that 4-minute mark of a 2:20 split time. All right. And then we're going to see 2:12, 2:05, 2:01, 1:95, 1:54, 1:51. So if someone could hold 1:51 for 12 minutes straight, they will not get caught. Of course, if they could hold lower than 1:51, then of course they're definitely not going to get caught. This is one where, just like in the treadmill version, the further out you could get, the better you're off, because you create that buffer. So that way, if you start to slow down, even though the checkpoints will catch up, you will be able to get a little bit further. As far as strategy goes, what I would try to encourage is, at the very least, hold that base split time or 1 to 3 seconds below it for a majority of the time until the next checkpoint. And then when they're about 30 seconds out from a checkpoint, encourage them to increase the leg drive, try to drop that split time by about another 2 to 3 seconds for those 30 seconds, okay? So it's only like a push for 30 seconds, and then just pull back a little bit and get back to a base push row that they could consistently hold, all right? And then that way they're not gassing out, trying to crank out a 30-second all out, and now they're recovering and their split time shoots up to like a 4-minute split time, because then they're definitely going to get caught. Okay. I foresee most people getting caught like around the 8 to 10 minute mark, that 2:05 to the 1:59 split time. For most people, that's going to be pretty tough to hold for 8 to 10 minutes straight. All right. Of course, it's going to be a lot easier for someone who's really tall and they have really good mechanics. For a shorter person, it's going to be harder. Okay. That's why coaching with empathy is so important for this one, because once again, it's designed to catch most people. When they get caught, they just move on to the next part of the workout. All right. Other than that, that's all I really have for you guys. I posted the recommended split times in the GroupMe under the documents section, so definitely take a look at that. That was just based off of calculations and mathematics, and I did some rounding down to be safe, because I know in the daily beat, it says they have to hold at least a 1:52 split time. But, better safe than sorry. If they could hold 1:51, even better. And then they won't get caught. All right. Other than that, that's all I got. Coach it down.